seconds. Rossoneri, it's yet another derby won. Round of applause. Let's fucking go. Huge, huge win. Milano e Rossonera, sempre e comunque. Welcome everybody. Join aboard. Drop a big like and subscribe for a big derby win. Oscar, how are we feeling?
It's beautiful. I know the Scudetto is out of reach, out of our hands, but it's now the seventh derby della Madonnina that they haven't that Inter haven't won now, and the way we do it, cortomuso. I didn't think Inter had much. We executed it pretty well. I thought, um, yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful, and
Yes, they
we
they
needed something.
prove they we need something. We all do
We needed something.
personally and as a team. Shout out to
Yeah,
Colin Bouchard in the chat, my champ. Thank you for joining in. I called it. They're mental midgets. They're it's a terrible culture that they have. They threw away Champions League because to them it's a better season to win the league by 10 points in March than to make the Champions League final, and that will come by you in the ass. DiMarco's the best
yeah.
player in the world, but he will miss sitters in the big games. Bastoni was more worried about looking like a good guy than winning balls and playing fair, choking under the whistles. The little rat that Barale is was more upset with his own teammates that he was with us. This is football heritage. This is the history of this club. 7 derbies in a row. As you said, they'll probably still win a Scudetto. Although, what a choke job this would be if they drop it. It won't happen.
Yeah.
Literally, the last game they lost before tonight was against us in November. Since then, they've won 13 out of 14. Only drew against Napoli. So let's get that out of the way. We know we're not winning the Scudetto, but oh man, how good does this feel? And the unlikely
It
hero. We,
was
we we're talking about how worried we were about Pervis Estupinian having to start after Partizagi went down injured, and he scores a banger. It
what a
was not on my
finish.
bingo cards.
Where did that come from? Straight from the training ground, it looked like, because that was a beautifully worked goal.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, but it is football heritage in a way that this I shouldn't say shit Milan team because we're second, but having to play Stupinan, and I know Inter had their injuries as well, but seeing Lautaro Martinez on the bench with his glittery diamond earrings on, with his glittery ring. Kivo said that he was going to put him on the bench, but wouldn't be able to play just for his to have his presence, Stuttgart's presence,
Oh, hello. Yeah, the famous aura that Lautaro Martinez has.
the
Fuck
aura.
off.
Yeah. But what I'm kind of happy with this derby is that was it the best derby we've ever seen? No, from either team. It's not from the glory. My dad's an Inter fan, so we were just towards the end catching up, and we were just saying like, this isn't midfield battles of like Veron and Kaká that we've been seeing some clips of. It's not your Cambiasso Stankovic versus Seedorf Pirlo midfields. It's not Il Fenomeno Adriano Crespo for them, Bobo Vieri, and not Shevchenko stuff, but. Um, I thought I'm kind of happy that it was kind of there weren't any controversies. There wasn't like a big
Yeah.
VAR mishap and red cards and yeah, Salamakers absolutely was diving around a bit. I'll admit that. I'll be the first to admit that. But so were some of their players. But that I was messaging a friend of the podcast, Fabian, who's I don't think probably not watching because he was so confident last night at the pub saying that he would come through for the hate watch. The first thing he says is, "Bro, that is such a handball," which on
Oh, I
Ricci.
love it. I love this is them. Hang on to the tiny things. Of course, of course.
Maybe Mkhitaryan and Dimarco should have at least hit the fucking target. Well, Mkhitaryan hit the target. It was square on Magnon. That
Square
was
at yeah.
terrible. I mean, it wasn't. It's technically a Mignon save, but he just stood there on his knees. Sus. But yeah, I love it that they're clutching at straws. The Inter fans saying like, "Oh, it's a handball."
Yeah. this is who they are.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I thought the first half was very interesting. We scored one, probably should have had a few. They obviously have the giant opportunity with Mkhitaryan there, so they probably could have scored two. But we had more chances, and for all the criticism that Allegri gets in terms of how little we create, I thought we did so well. And
yep,
then the game kind of went how you'd expect Allegri to handle a 1-0 lead. We came out strong in the first half,
yeah,
as we always do. We had a few opportunities, not full opportunities, like those half opportunities. We had space and counterattacks that didn't lead up to anything, but we created a lot of those. And then we were gonna try to find a second goal within that first 20-minute window, and after that it was gonna be take pride in defending, and that's what
yeah,
we did. And to be fair, it got a little dicey there right at the end. But if we had to
yeah. A
defend,
lot, a lot of long balls and crosses, but
if we had
it
to
was kind of
defend,
it was pretty
yeah,
comfortable.
if we had to defend like 10, 15 more minutes, I would have backed our chances to keep the clean sheet and keep the
Yeah,
yeah, the results. What did you think of the strikers? Obviously, the big German came in. Shout out to all our viewers from Germany. Um, you know who you are. Fulkrug came on. He didn't have much of an impact. Nkunku came on, didn't have much of an impact. Pulisic now did a little bit of, tried to put a little bit of their own pressure in the first half. What did you think of? We always talk about the striking partnerships.
yeah. No,
How did you
it's.
see it this game?
I thought this might, and I know it's not. I keep going back to saying it's not Liao's fault. It's not Liao's fault. It's not Liao's fault because of the injury. But I feel like at this point, Liao needs to put his hands up and be like, "Coach, don't put me in." Just because it's such a struggle to watch him. There are so many, not that many. I think two or three chances where he kind of comes one on one with Bisek, kind of high up the pitch, and you're like, a year ago you would have absolutely burnt him,
Yeah.
and he just doesn't. He's smart enough not to try because he knows he's going to lose the ball, but then just doesn't add anything. I thought he lost the ball way too often, and half injured Leao, who doesn't can't utilize his pace, just doesn't add anything to this Milan. Yeah, he scored last game against Cremonese with a tap in the 93rd, whatever. He before that he can create some of his own chances when we're the dominating team in the final third because eventually the ball will fall to him in the box. But in a game like this, you could just see that he was struggling,
Hmm.
and I was surprised he wasn't hooked at halftime almost. Genuinely,
Interesting.
for
Okay.
like for Fulkrug or Nkunku. But I'm fighting myself on this, saying that it's not Liao's fault. I thought Pulisic had an okay game.
Yeah, I thought Pulisic was okay. Yeah, Liao, I don't know. I felt like he was there. You could see that he's running a little bit more smoothly. He's still not 100%. It's
Mm.
funny. I feel like you could see kind of what you were saying, that in his mind he also knows what he's capable of. He tried that outrageous run against Di Marco where he almost did like the Bale run out of the pitch run, which maybe
Yeah,
Prime Leao does pull off. It did not work out for well
he
for him.
does. He does.
But
Yeah,
in those occasions, you're like, you can see that in his mind. He's like, wait, no, I can do this, and then the legs aren't quite there.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but I don't know. I liked. I don't know. Maybe I'm just too biased and too prone to cheer for Lau. But I still liked what he had to offer. Of course, some situation you have to handle better. Um, but first of all, Kian Mulligan, thank you.
Shout out Kian. Shout
Shout
out
out to
Kian.
you.
He's
Let's
a
go, boys. Forza
friend,
Milan.
friend of the podcast from Ireland.
Man of the match, I think Pervis, because he scores the goal, got the little statue, the Panini
Yeah,
statue. Who do you think
and
was
overall,
our
I
man of
thought
the match?
he was pretty solid. I think he had one kind of. It wasn't really a mistake, but I think it was 1 minute and 10 seconds in. He perhaps didn't have the best defensive action, but it didn't lead to a mistake or like, oh, well, it was a mistake, but it didn't lead to a goal scoring opportunity. Otherwise, I thought he was pretty solid. Not that he had to do much. Man of the match, I'm honestly, and my dad is pretty nuanced person. He doesn't watch a lot of Milan games necessarily because he'll watch Inter games, but Modric, I thought it was vintage Modric today. I thought he I shouldn't say flawless, but borderline.
As close
Uh,
to it, yeah.
he it's close, yeah, and it's such a beauty and on yeah, it's such a beauty to watch him, and that he's still pulling this off, 40 years old, in a derby like this, and you could see how much it means. So not only the whole buying 60 tickets for his friends and family and flying in, well,
Hmm.
I'm sure he probably didn't pay for Sergio Ramos's flight, but Mandzukic was
It was interesting, and
on.
Ramos was there though. Yeah, but keep going.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just that it just means so much to him. Modric, I feel like, is just the perfect person. Uh, would I marry him on the spot? Yes. Just does puts his head down. Yeah, he got a yellow card for dissent. I thought that was pretty stupid of him, but it shows that he cares, and there's just nothing bad to say about him off the pitch. He will always try 100%, and his floor is so high. It's such an honor to watch him. Honestly, I'm so happy to be able to get a win in the Derby della Madonnina against Inter, but also have Modric perform to this level.
Agreed. I was thinking about it because we talked about it in the last podcast, but you see so much of all the beautiful thing that he does on the pitch, but it's also all the little stuff. You don't see just how many balls, how many touches he gets, how much goes through him, and you don't realize how little goes wrong because when the ball's in his feet, it's in a safe box. You feel at home. If you have anyone
Yeah,
else, even if you have a good player like a Jashari for a whole Serie A, you're gonna find those mistakes here and there. They're gonna cost you points. With Modric, it's just not the case. He got really close to goal early on when Sommer gifted us the chance. Perhaps Pulisic could have taken him on his own. He lays it off. Modric gets close, and then yeah, just the passion. I kind of loved in a all sicko football fan way that he got the descent yellow because he got a foul that probably wasn't a foul, complaint, and they just went in for a nice hard tackle, earned it. We yelled at the ref. And
yeah,
when a player
yeah,
that's 4 years old, um, that's the leader, Ballon d'Or winner, won the
yeah.
Champions Leagues, does that in a derby, everyone else falls in line. You're like, oh, okay, yeah, no, we're bringing this
Yeah.
home. So I just loved that. That fired me up. Even on the couch, I was ready to go to war for Luca. And yeah, what an absolute baller. Every time I watch it play, it's like that clip of Suma going crazy. That just goes, oh,
Yeah.
Luka Modric. Oh my God, you're so good. And it's honestly
That
just
feels
that
like
on
a
repeat.
that feels like a lifetime ago. That was against Udinese, I think. What was it, like our third game, fourth game or something? Uh,
Yeah,
no, you're perfectly right. It's such an honor to be able to watch him in a Milan top. Not I don't follow La Liga and Real Madrid. I'm sure aren't necessarily missing him that much, but how they sort of let him go and not just gave him
it's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, look,
bunch
the
of
levels
time.
are definitely maybe higher and it's different, but yeah,
Yeah,
and it's
exactly. Yeah,
been ever since that third game. It's been copy and paste. There is,
yeah,
I think, his worst game might have been a 6.5 out of 10. It's
yeah.
crazy. Let me catch up with the chat quickly. Alexander, thank you for tuning in. My God, we played so well. Thank you all for believing and keeping the dream alive. This team surprises us every time we doubt them. This is actually very true, and shout out to Allegri. I think they earned our passion to support them until the end. I'll just keep reading and I'll get to you, Ozzy. Antonio, also, thank you for tuning in. Should Nkunku get more playing time? I feel like in 2026 he's been our best attacker. And then saying Forza Milan, we know Inter.
Yeah.
Um, let's go in order. The passion and I think Allegri definitely should deserve some sort of criticism. We weren't perfect this season, but if you see just the soul of this team compared to 12 months ago, compared to the end of last season, even less than 12 months ago, it's completely different. With a mercato that in many ways didn't work well, that wasn't what
No.
Allegri wanted. So huge prop to him and to sort of galvanize the team and get everyone on the same page. Should Nkunku be playing more playing time? For me, no. He hasn't shown he hasn't shown that he deserves it. Um, but
Yes and no. Yes and no. I don't think. I mean, Phil Krug isn't given the game time. Maybe he just isn't fit enough. to play any type of pressing. Not that we're a high pressing team, but full crew running around for 90 minutes, I can struggle to see. Pulisic and Leao was, I think their chemistry works, but playing both of them at the same time with their injuries just isn't working anymore. So to a certain extent, I can agree that Nkunku should be perhaps getting more regular playing time, but it's
Mm-hmm.
not that Nkunku's that it's unfair on him being on the bench because Pulisic and Leao are better footballers, not by miles, I would say. Um, it's just when they're injured, yeah. So it's yes and no, yes and no.
Yeah, and also to me, it's you have to earn it. If you come off the now, it's tough to come off the bench in a game like this where maybe
Yeah,
you have a breakaway like we did against Cremonese, which is the team we played last game, and we won. And you can shine, but otherwise, you're suffering. It's and it's not that Nkunku played badly today. He was just there to for a very specific season. But you have to make most of your minutes. You come in and you play 15. You come in play 20 minutes. You do well.
yeah,
You earn a little bit more. Maybe you get a start. For now, I think if Pulisic and now are on two legs, which hasn't been the case for long this season, then they should play.
yeah.
Antonio again in the chat, which striker would you want in the upcoming window? Kino Retegi.
Oh,
Moise Kean for me, easily over Retegi. Even though I like Retegi, but
easily. Yeah. I mean, I think from a purely footballing point of view, you could argue either, but realistically wise, Retigo is in Saudi Arabia. How much is he earning? We've got our wage structure, which is kind of capped off at 6 7 ish, 6 7 ish, Oh, I hate myself. What am I talking about?
set it down.
6 or 7 million euros a season. Retigo is probably a lot higher on that, and no massive disrespect to the Saudi league, but he's not going to be. He might work himself up to a European standard, uh, but I think Moise Kean, having only played in Europe, will be more up, sort of ready to go product in a way.
Yeah, Allegri known is obviously up and down. With our current budget, you're not buying a
Yep.
sure bet anyway. But definitely him. Um, As let's go back to the derby though. Did Inter surprise
The
you?
derby.
Did Inter surprise you in sort of their reaction or their lack of reaction? Some of the subs we saw Bastoni come out injured slash
Yeah,
getting a yellow. We saw Barella come out. Obviously Lautaro doesn't make it. Their strikers stayed there. Did
yeah.
they sort of yeah? Did any of the Kivu decisions and lack of reaction surprise you?
I want to say I think not necessarily the decisions and the substitutions. I just thought it was so completely lackluster. Their midfield, like I I haven't watched a lot of Inter games, but honestly, and I rate the only time I'll say this, I rate Kivu, sorry, for subbing out the big players like Barella. What was it,
Mm-hmm.
67th minute or 65th? Just because he's just isn't the same player. And
Yeah.
Zelinski, he tried, but again, it's against the vintage Modric, Rabiot just running riot. We and Fofana also doing his defensive duties, shut them down because we know that I think Inter's midfield usually will dictate a game
Mm-hmm.
and will always find a way through. And when you shut that down, then you've got Boni and Pio Esposito. While Pio Esposito, being a youngster that he is, he'll have, I'm sure, a great career, but a derby like this just showed his inexperience and being that young. Uh,
Yeah.
I thought De Winter and even Tomori and Pavlovic man marked them, didn't leave them too much room, and everything they just tried to put everything through Dimarco, and Dimarco's deliveries today weren't on point, and therefore you're if you're just going to try to spam cross, trying to find these tight through balls, it's just not going to work when you've got a Milan performing at the level that they did defensively today, I thought.
Yeah, I think it was the great Franz Kafka that said Interistis are mental midget, and that's a real quote that you can look up. But I
Let
saw a
me
lot of
get that
that.
tattooed.
I saw a lot of that. I saw a lot of them missing a lot of big chances, and then us scoring, and it felt for them it felt like oh boy, here we go again, and that was it. Um,
Hmm.
I thought you were bang on the money there. Um, De Winter and Pavlovic were great. Men marked. I mean, De Winter is on a games,
Yeah.
4 or 5 game streak of being borderline flawless in our defensive system. Pavlovic
Hmm.
just, banged with young Pio Esposito for 90 plus minutes, and made sure it didn't go anywhere. I like Pio. You know, Milanistas don't like him because Inter's fans won't shut up about him. But his mentality, I
Yeah.
thought, it's one of those games that you can get frustrated and start messing around out. But he fought physically a lot. He was on the ground, but he got up. He never talked much. He seems like
Hmm.
one of those that's just like, well, he's happy to do the dirty work
Hmm.
and score when he gets the chance to. But I thought we were great, especially those two. Tomori did okay. He was pushing a little bit more forward. But I was particularly impressed by Tomori and especially De Winter. Again, I think he's quickly becoming maybe our best defender, which is kind of crazy to see.
Yeah.
Um,
You would not have said that after, was it the Napoli Supercoppa semi-final?
yeah, honestly,
Christ alive.
which was
I thought it was chalked.
middle of the season, and we said, okay, he might not even be playable, not even as a sub, might not even be playable, and
Yeah.
now he literally might be our best defender. The growth is
How
insane.
how nervous were you when Tomori, what was it like in the first 15, 20 minutes when he was sitting on the ground and it looked like he was chalked for the game? And I'm just thinking, Gabia's got, what is it, a hernia? Anyways, he was obviously
Yeah.
not on the bench. And then I'm like, who the fuck is that warming up? Oh my god, we have a Dogu. I've completely forgotten about that guy. That's no disrespect to him. It's just like, this is what we've got to work with, and we're second, and we're only 7 points off, and we've won two derbies and won most of our big games, or at least not lost. If Allegri is not, I mean, De Rossi's doing a great job now that he's come in at Genoa, I think, and you can
Hmm.
argue that Fabregas and Como, but if Allegri doesn't win Manager of the Season,
Yeah, I mean the
whatever,
storylines for those are great because you think, I mean, Kivu's is like on record points
yeah,
for our first season, first timer, and probably gonna win the
that's
league.
true. Yeah.
Allegri's been insane. I mean, Gasperini's not doing bad at Roma. Fabregas is currently in Champions League spots. That would be insane.
Mm, yeah.
Spalletti is a little bit harder, but yeah, there's a few interesting storylines. Um, I think we've been through all of it. Alexis, I thought fought well. For fun, I thought, we were talking about this and we were discussing. He's frustrating because he creates so much, and a lot of what he creates in the end he makes a lot of mistakes. But in terms of just sheer output, again, it's the second game in a row that he put someone on goal. This time, Pervis finds the back of the net, unlike Leao and
Yeah.
Pulisic last game. Um, he makes mistakes, but he creates so much more than like a Richie Wood or a Ruben Loftus-Cheek does, in terms of just sheer output. So to me, it's great. Like with this team has a lot of issues. Fofana is not at the top of that list in my book,
No.
even as a
No.
starter.
No.
Definitely could be improved. There's much better players in the world, no doubt. But yeah, before
Yeah,
we get to that,
and I think Allegri maybe is coaching these types of small details out. Maybe I shouldn't say this is a transition season for Fofana, because last season he was kind of meh. He had a brutal couple of games there where
hmm
Allegri took him out completely, which was again great man management. And now Fofana's on the up, and he does so many things well, but then he has those lapse of concentrations, usually in the final third, which isn't really supposed to be his strong points,
hmm
or like what he's supposed to be giving to the team. So I'm happy we didn't sell him in the summer, and now, funnily enough, I'm maybe going back on what I said earlier this season. I'm happy we didn't sell him early this summer, and I'm kind of quietly excited what he could maybe bring us next season if we get to, I don't know, if we keep Modric or replace Modric with Jashari, have Rabiot still performing at this level next season. He's not young, but he's also not old.
yeah, he's got a good
Uh,
few seasons.
we get a little honeypot in the Champions League qualifications, hopefully.
Hmm
Jerry pulls his thumb out of his ass and decides to spend on this team. He was there, which is first time in forever that he's at a
Yeah, we've been told
Milan
that he was
game.
gonna come from the States a lot of times, and he never did. Yeah.
Yeah, but Fantastic. I'm so happy. I can actually go to bed happy on a Sunday evening and not have Monday's game or
Yeah, the
Sunday's
derby,
scares.
the derby on a Sunday, it's always tough. It's always like, oof, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get to sleep. We're 30
Yeah.
minutes in. I think uh, we can begin to wrap it up. But just some final thoughts. First of all, on very last one on Fofana. Also, the physicality is underrated. Ruben Loftus-Cheek is supposed to bring that, but he never uses it. Fofana is
Yeah.
like a friend of mine says like a statue. Beefy, beefcake, if you will. I feel like he's got
Ooh.
big biceps, and you can feel it on the pitch. He wins a lot of 1-to-1s. And a funny quote from my dad. He said, "As soon as I saw Fratesi come in, I thought we're winning this game for sure."
I
Uh,
love that.
which is true. The man is absolutely ridiculous. They keep saying that they're gonna sell him for 35 million. I don't know who. He's like the seventh choice they have in a three-man midfield. Um, they definitely got scammed
Shout
on
shout
that.
out shout out Daddy Perv.
Enrico, the absolute legend. Um, but unless you have anything else to say other than obviously
Milano siamo noi.
Milano Rossonera, Milano siamo noi. Huge win. Very last thought. You already said it, but is the Scudetto race kind of open?
Nah, we're back.
We're
We're
back.
back, baby.
What are the realistic chances? Give me a percentage.
Oh, me, I'm a big percentage guy. 12%.
12%. 12%. I was going with 7 for me, but 12
I,
is
I'm
fair.
I'm
12
just
is fair.
I don't know on the top of my head what inter fixtures they have, like inter what fixtures they have. Well, let's get the spreadsheets out. I love those Twitter spreadsheets when it's like highlighted in green, yellow, and red. But Atalanta, Fiorentina, Roma, Como, another
Oof.
Coppa Italia, the return leg of the semi final. Other
It's
than
ridiculous
that,
that they're playing that 50 days apart. Why the fuck do we have semifinal, two leg semifinals if we're playing 50 days apart? The first game was ridiculous. I watched it. Both teams were like, yeah, let's just not play. Let's not get tired. We'll
is
decide
it
it in the
is it
next one.
is it because Atalanta are playing Champions League?
No, it makes no sense. This is why
Yeah,
people don't watch a Coppa Italia. But anyway,
yeah.
yeah, well, to see ours is not so easy, but you feel like Champions League is definitely a little bit safer. We are 9 points clear of Como and Roma.
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
tied at
yeah,
51.
yeah.
Huge for us. Anyway, we'll be back tomorrow with a very unlucky Uncle Sharma, which I'm sure will not want to
Oh,
jump on the podcast. He's our lucky charm so far. Every time he's on the
beauty.
pod, he brings us luck. We'll be back with him to talk about the game in depth and give you all the
Beauty.
statistics.
I might actually just got jump straight over to his live stream after this, if he's live.
Yeah, you got it's time to hop on Twitter. It's time to hop on the Reddit and the inter subreddits and just soak it all in.
Yeah.
Anyway, us done for. We'll be back tomorrow as always. Thank you for watching. Drop a like, subscribe, and Forza Milan.
Forza Milan.